Hey guys, how's it going? Srey here. So today I want to talk about Varian, the first multi-class hero in the game. Well, Blizzard says he's multi-class, but I don't really think he is. I think you have a tank option and you have a DPS option. And you can kind of flex a DPS option, but at BlizzCon they said there were 6 options for Varian, and that's not really true. Kind of misleading. And also a lot of classes, or sorry, a lot of heroes can choose different talents to make them different types of DPS. So I don't really think there's too many differentiations in terms of Varian's multi-class. So I'll say right off the bat, I don't think he's very hero league viable, except at maybe below diamond, below platinum, and you'd run Twin Blades of Fury and basically just auto attack enemies to death, and that's pretty easy to do. You basically just charge someone and stand there and auto attack. I don't think the other two builds are viable below that level, and I don't really think they're that viable at a top level play either. I think that in competitive, coordinated play, he can be good. I think that Taunt, the tank build, and maybe the Colossus Smash has viability, but I don't think that Twin Blades of Fury does. At least generally, he could have some niche effects, but I don't know how strong he'll be in competitive. But I think he will see some play at least. So let's just talk about Varian quickly. Okay, so the entirety of Varian's kit is based around one talent. That talent is at level 4 Warbringer. So if you just charge normally, it's a 75% slow for 1 second and does damage, and it's a 16-second cooldown. Okay, Warbringer turns that 1 second slow into a 1 second stun, reduces the cooldown by 10 seconds. So from 16 seconds to 6 seconds. So let me say this again. Warbringer is Varian. If you don't take Warbringer, don't play Varian. Shield Wall is a good talent. Like Shield Wall is a good talent, a solid talent. It's a strong talent. But compared to Warbringer, like you can't play Varian and not have Warbringer, my opinion. Um, no matter what build you play, his kit is basically based around Warbringer. At least if you're playing the tank or Colossus Smash build. Going Twin Blades, it's not really based on Warbringer, but it's still really strong. And the 10-second cooldown is what's important here. I mean, they're both important. Changing the slow to a stun and the reduced cooldown is important, but both of them together make this talent absolutely necessary. And indeed, you should be using it every time it comes off a cooldown to charge. So the basic combo for Varian is you pretty much just run up to a target, stun them, use Lion's Fang, and then you'll parry and get some auto attacks, and that's pretty much the basic combo. When you get Colossus Smash, you'll use Colossus Smash first, and when you have Taunt, you'll taunt after you stun. Okay, so let's start with talents. So level 1, Lion's Maw takes too long to stack up, and you really only get the benefits after you hit 30 heroes. So then you'll increase the slow and you'll increase the duration, and that makes it viable. But the damage isn't very significant here. So you're getting the viability after you hit 30 heroes, which is pretty long delay, not too good. So you could either go Lion's Maw and delay and not get that talent for 8 to 10 minutes into the game, or you could go High King's Quest and still not get into 8 to 10 minutes into the game, maybe a little bit longer. But Lion's Maw or High King's Quest is, I want to say, the best talent in the entire game by a large margin. So once you complete this quest, it gives you, like, once you complete all the quests, it gives you 60 base attack damage. Okay, so to put that into perspective, at level 20, that increases your basic attack damage by 35%. Okay, if you're completing that quest by level 10, which is reasonable, that's going to increase your basic attack damage by even more than 35%. So like 40 or 50%. Like it's a significant damage increase. So there's a lot of quests in here, and you might think that's hard to complete, but really the limiting factor here is gather 20 regeneration globes. So if you're gathering 20 regeneration globes, then you're gonna have the quest completed. It's very, very, very rare. I found that I do the 12 regeneration globes before the other two quests. Hitting 50 heroes with basic attacks is probably the easiest, and then you have 5 hero takedowns, which is also really easy. Remember, you just have to be like be in the area even to get a hero takedown. You don't actually have to get a last hit or anything like that. So once you have all these completed, if you only have 2 quests completed and you can complete the third, you get 40 attack damage because you get 10 for completing the last one and 30 for completing all. So this is a huge, 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 huge power spike and absolutely necessary if you're playing Varian for Colossus Smash or Twin Blades of Fury. If you're gonna go tank, then I would recommend going overpower. Lion's Maw, again, I don't see the use of it. Overpower does quite a lot of damage. It procs your passive. So negate that's your passive is equal to a number of auto attacks, especially in tank build, and that actually lets you solo enemies very very easily, and you'll always be able to proc it because you'll be able to taunt. The Highbringer Srey, as I said, always take Warbringer. Okay, so at 7, pretty standard. So if you're gonna go Twin Blades of Fury, you always get second wind. Okay, if you get Colossus Smash, I always go second wind, but you could make an argument for going Victory Rush, especially on maps where there's a lot of minions dying around you. And it's important to note that it says when an enemy minion dies, but this can include summoned heroes as well. I'm not sure if this works on um, objective minions, like on Infernal Shrines, but I know that it works on summoned creatures. So if Zagara is summoning stuff, you can kill them and heal off of those. It reduces the cooldown. Live by the Sword should really say gives you an extra duration of, or an extra charge of block. So instead of 2, you get 3. Because how this works is increase the duration of parry by 20%. So if you parry once, that's going to increase the duration from 1.25 seconds to 1.5 seconds. So if you use that twice in a row, since you have 2 charges, that's a total of 3 seconds. Then you have, if you get hit by at least 2 hero basic attacks with a single parry, its cooldown is reduced by 3 seconds. So if you do that twice, that's 6 seconds total, plus the 3 seconds, which is 9 seconds. And since the cooldown is 10 seconds, you can use parry, parry, and then you'll have 1 second downtime, and you'll have another parry back up. So it basically gives you um, an extra parry charge, most part. And that's okay. No, that's not too bad. But if you're going tank, I would recommend that you go either that one or Victory Rush. If again there's a lot of minions around you, I would go Victory Rush. And if they have like a lot of auto attacks, I would go Live by the Sword. Or if there aren't a lot of minions, go by the sword if you tank. Otherwise, I would go second wind pretty much all the time if you're going to DS. You could also go Victory Rush if you don't have a healer. That would be good for any build. Okay, so level 10 here is the real choice. So I started with the 3 levels 1. So really the only options here you have on Varian, so the things that you really have to think about per build, are your 1s and 7 talents, depending on what you get a 10. So 13, did not mean to click that. So 13, 16, and 20 are all situational, regardless of what build you're going. So it doesn't matter what build you go here, you go whatever you think your team needs. Whatever at 16, you go whatever you think that you need. And at 20, you'll always go Glory to the Alliance or Demoralizing Show. I'll get onto that in a minute, but I just want to make it clear that 13, 16, and 20 are completely independent of whatever talents you take previously. They're just situational talents at the time. Okay, so level 10 here. And also I wanted to go back to the quest quickly, High King's Quest. That actually gives you 35% damage regardless of what build you go. So it doesn't matter if you go tank build, if you go Colossus Smash build, if you go Blades of Fury, it gives you 35% damage overall after you calculate one of these. It calculates to this about the same. Um, so just take that into account when you quest. So in terms of what you should take here, okay, so Twin Blades of Fury is by far the most popular build, especially in Hero League and Quick Match and matchmaking. And it's basically, if you don't take this build in Varian, then you're building them wrong. And at low levels of play, I can definitely agree to this. I think that it's not punished, and you'll just be able to use as much as you want effectively. You'll just be able to auto attack and heal off of it with Second Wind and kill their whole team. So the problem with Twin Blades of Fury is that if the enemy team actually deals with you, they'll CC lock you and kill you. So you'll charge in with Warbringer, and then you'll be stunned by, let's say, ETC, followed up by a Tyrande, followed up by a KT, and you don't even have more follow-up than that. You'll be dead. So that might seem pretty good, but once teams actually counter you, then I don't think there's viability in this option. The viability in this option lies in your opponents not using their abilities correctly. Colossus Smash, I think, is pretty good for coordinated. So you basically just Colossus Smash and then use your combo. And it does quite a lot of damage, actually. You can get Vala down to quite low health. Let's see if I can do it here. Toggle minions, I think. And toggle. Where is the toggle option? Select a new hero. Get a Vala. Could have set this up beforehand.
Choose a talent.
So remember that I don't have the quest done, but this is basically the damage you can expect, and that's just one combo. And you can also increase the damage of that combo by going Banner of Dalaran. And so if you see the combo here, once she gets back, see how much damage they'll do. Might not have full health though. Oh, she's not gonna have full health. Anyway, you can do quite a bit of damage with her. You can almost one-hit heroes, especially once you've completed the quest. And I think that burst build is actually better a lot of the time. So you might want to get the burst build if you have other CC on your team and you have other burst on your team that can use the vulnerable. And also when you go in, you won't just die. Your team will get a kill. So Val's back. Let's see if we can do this combo again. It's pretty close. You can get her pretty close in one hit, and that's a pretty effective combo for any melee assassin. Aside from like Thrall using Sunder as well, I don't think that many melee assassins will be able to one hit a Vala regardless. So it's quite strong, and the taunt option is also really good. So basically you charge in, then you taunt, and they're forced to attack you, and you get a massive health increase. So the problem with tank Varian is that he has no wave clear. I mean, the problem with Varian in general is that he lacks wave clear. That's why I don't really like him in Hero League. But if you're in coordinated play, or maybe at higher levels of play, your teams will build. You will guarantee that your allies will be able to clear waves, and it shouldn't be a problem. Okay, so at level 13, I usually just go Banner of Ironforge no matter what. If you have a lot of AP comp, like a mage comp, the Banner of Dalaran can be very, very good. And if you have a dive comp, but it doesn't matter how much health you have, you're just going to kill the enemy team, then Banner of Stormwind is probably the best option. But generally, I get Banner of Forge, and you can't really go wrong with that. Okay, so 16 is totally situational. If they have a healer, go Mortal Strike. If they have heroes that have a lot of shields, Zarya, Tassadar, etc., then Shattering Throw can be very, very strong, and in fact, the only counter to shields in the entire game. And if they have none of those, then Charge is still a good option. Remember that it's 6% um, per charge, and charge is a 6-second cooldown. So you're basically doing 1% of maximum health per second. You don't even have to be there to rack up the charge. So this does a lot of damage. You're going to be charging multiple times a fight. This racks up quite quickly. And Mortal Strike does even more damage by preventing heals if they have any kind of dedicated healer whatsoever. So I'll just go for this one here. And then level 20, Glory to the Alliance is by far the best option here. By far the best. It's ridiculously powerful and I would say broken, honestly. It makes the team have to immediately heal it. Reduces the cooldown by 20 seconds. It increases all healing the heroes take by 20%, which is a lot. So if your team doesn't have healers though, maybe you're doing quick match or something, I would get Demoralizing Shout. I think that all the options here for the heroic upgrades are bad, except maybe Vigilance if they have like a Tychus or a Zarya who are going to attack really fast and reset the taunt really quickly. But other than that, I would go Glory to the Alliance. And remember that the banner should be used when you're using in a team fight. Like you want to put them in a bush or something. Not only will the enemy team not see them, but it gives you vision. You can basically use them as wards. So when this one comes off cooldown, I almost have another banner back up. And yeah, that's pretty much Varian. He is actually very linear. So although he has 3 builds, they're all 3 are very linear. If you're going auto attack build, you literally just auto attack like you normally would. If you're going burst DPS build, you just start your combo with R, and then you use all your abilities at the same time. Mash your keyboard. And if you're going tank, you basically just taunt in, and then or you charge in, then you taunt your target after charging, and play from there. Um, Again, I think that tank Varian has the most potential, at least in competitive or high level. And I think that Twin Blades is the best at lower levels. And I think that the Colossus build is somewhere in between or could work in both. Um, I think that's all I wanted to talk about today. So if you enjoyed, stick around, stay tuned, more content. If not, well, let me know what I can improve for next time. All right, guys, take it easy.